We are the explorers, the inventors, the architects of change.
Hi, Ian Hank.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm tired.
I'm tired too.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm good though. Yeah, I'm fantastic.
Do you know why I'm good?
Why are you good?
Last week I was I was in a good place because I got to play Civilization 6.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the next Civilization.
The one
out
they
October
just
21st.
announced.
Yeah.
And now you're playing it.
Yeah, so I got to go to an event here in LA for Civilization 6, and I got to play 60 turns of Civilization 6, which by Civilization standards is not very much.
Sounds like a lot, and then you're like, oh, wait.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I wish I could sit here and give you an in-depth thing, and it's like, oh, this seems really, really good, and dig into the systems, but I just got a little taste.
Yeah.
And Civilization Beyond Earth is a game that I liked less the more that I played it. And it kind of didn't live up to all my hopes and dreams, despite me giving it a very good review. And so I went in with some trepidation with Civilization 6, and
Naturally.
I walked away extremely impressed, and I want to know if these changes sound good to you or what you think of them.
Lay them on me.
I want to bounce them off you.
Because I love Civ 5.
Yeah, you played
likewise,
a lot of hours.
I got kind of tired of Beyond Earth after one game.
Yeah, and I remember times I would go into your old editing bay and be like, oh, Ian's playing Civilization. It's passing the turns.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to wait on exports and stuff and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the first change that I think is really interesting is your city. So you know how you could build a bunch of different buildings in your city, but you just sort of click the building and you didn't really have to think about it very much?
Yeah, city screen and everything.
All building types now in Civilization 6 have to be placed in districts. So something like the library, for example, has to be placed in the campus district. And so you have to build the district, and in order to build the district, you need certain qualifications. Like there was one district I needed where I had to have a couple of horses, and I didn't have those horses.
Are they all still within that square, though, that hex?
So your cities can now be on multiple tiles. So when you're building district, your city expands.
Okay.
Which is really, really cool.
That's cool.
And the reason I think it's so cool is it's not just you're building these districts and expanding and you're not really thinking about it. Where you put these districts gives them a huge bonus. So like your campus, for example, it's going to affect you a lot more if you're going to get a research bonus, I guess I should say, if you place it by mountains.
Okay.
And so, normally in Civ, when you're building a city, you're just kind of thinking about that initial placement. Like, is this tile good and will it be good in the future?
Yeah.
But now, like, when you're building cities, you have to think about how you're going to want to expand and grow, and you have to think about it long term, and it's a little bit more like a puzzle. And I think it makes city building more active, kind of. It's not just something where like you set it once and it just slowly builds. It's changing over time.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, how does that strike you?
Yeah, I mean, because that part I always felt like, I mean, I really like the city screen and going in and like doing all that stuff, but like I would love more granularity there and like more control and decision making. And that sounds interesting too, because your initial placement, you're like, oh, this placement for my city is going to be great because I'm going to be able to get more spearmen right now, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then you have to think long term, like, okay, there aren't enough mountains or what, whatever the thing that gives bonuses to like science way later,
Right.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you brought up something, that granularity that I want to talk about a little bit more, because in Civ 5 and really all the Civ games, you kind of just have those turns in the middle of the game where you're just kind of pressing next turn and you're kind of just going on. I feel like they're trying to get away with that and making the game more active overall. And one of the ways that they're doing that is you when you do things in the game, you'll get research bonuses. So if you want your masonry to move along and research faster, you can build a quarry. Or you get bonuses to your diplomatic research if you talk and seek out other civilizations. And so these aren't just timers that are static and aren't going to change. And I mean, you could do things in other Civ games to improve them, but I feel like the game is saying, no, go out and explore systems. We're going to reward you for doing so, and really making you engage with as much as possible and thinking about these things turn after turn.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
What other changes have they put into this thing?
So another thing that they're doing, and this is a little bit more minor, but I think is hugely important, is now you can link military units with like non-military units. So, sometimes it was hard. You needed to expand your city, but you couldn't send your settler off on its own because it would get killed.
Yeah.
Now you can link and combine the two units together, so you can have
different units.
Yeah, so you could have like warriors escort a settler to a location.
Okay.
And you wouldn't have to move. You could combine them together, so you're just moving one unit. You can link them, and you don't have to like go through the hassle of trying to get them both at the same place and things like that. So it's just a little bit more convenient. And again, just the general philosophy I get from the game is it's like, no, go out there, expand, be bolder, don't play so passively, which I think is really cool. And the enemy AI is also more active. And I think what's really cool about this change is, seeing like Gandhi interact with you or seeing all these famous leaders over time, it has a lot of charm to it. It's one of the defining features of Civilization. But now all of these leaders have a unique agenda that is true to their historical background.
Okay.
So, if you're fighting like a warmonger like Genghis Khan, his agenda is going to be focused on that.
Okay.
And so, when you're putting these different civilizations, like when you're fighting against them, it's going to feel different depending on who your game is, and they're more defined than they were in past games.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's it. That's really interesting because then you kind of get a heads up. Like as soon as you find out who you're up against, I wonder if that's fair, because like in a way it's like your historical knowledge. You come across Gandhi and you're like, I'm cool. You know? You come across Genghis Khan, you're like, I'm screwed.
So in an interview, Firaxis says that Gandhi will have a dark side. And I think you bring up a valid point that maybe these agendas would make the strategy a little bit too naked. Well, they're also going to have secret agendas.
Oh.
That the only way you can know about them is if you do espionage, like if you send spies over and uncover information, or if you find it out through diplomatic means. So they're going to have sort of this umbrella, like this general objective, but the other things could really be how they're accomplishing that.
That's
that
cool.
Objective.
So like actually sending in spies will have more of a actual like tactics, like reason to do it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it'll be more active than ever.
And I hope that the diplomacy is like reflects that depth and that change too.
Yeah, so that was the thing is I only got to do sort of initial conversations with Civilization, so I have never loved diplomacy in Civilization. I can't tell for sure whether or not it's great here. The very last thing that I wanted to bring up really quick is there have been some complaints with the screenshots they put out with Civilization 6 that it's too cartoony or maybe looks like a little bit a mobile game. I don't think those screenshots do it justice. When I saw it in action, I thought it had a really great, colorful, saturated aesthetic that was really appealing to me, and it was pretty detailed. The other thing that I love is the map is so much better now too. What is on each tile it's easier to distinguish, and just finding things on the map, it's cleaner. Like overall, the UI, the presentation, everything about it, it's like, no, this is extremely well designed.
Great.
So
that sounds cool. Yeah, I've always kind of liked, because they've always been like not hyper realistic and a little cartoony, but like not overtly like mobile game like Clash of Clans or something. So
yeah.
I don't know, a more colorful Civ 5, I don't think that would be bad. And if the graphics are amazing, like, I'm excited.
Yeah, there's just more of a flair to things now. When you build a wonder, you get a little movie, and you see it like a time lapse of it getting built bit by bit, and it feels and looks like this big, towering thing that's super awesome.
Neat.
So yeah, it's one of those things where Civ 5 has been around for so long and has gotten so much praise and was so popular that going into the Civ 6 event, I was like, how could they make a game that's better? What are they really going to improve? And I walked out of the event saying, like, no, they did it. They understand this game, and they do know how to make it better. So
I can't wait. When does it come out?
October 21st.
Not too long.
Yeah.
3-4 months?
Give me, as a sign-off, give me a hype rating out of 5 stars.
Probably like 4.5. I'm like, I mean, these games are always like, they're always games that I love to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I kind of take them for granted a little bit, because I'm always just like, man, these are really phenomenal games.
Yeah.
But I never go like, wow, But yeah, I'm really excited to give this one a shot.
Awesome. I think I'm going to go with 4.5 as well.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sitting down with me, Ian.
Happy to be here.
And thank you guys. Hopefully we'll see more Civilization 6 soon.